Hello everybody, so I'm back for another video. This is going to be an update video to update y'all on what has been going on with me the last 6 months. So today is July 13th, 2020, and let's jump in. So if y'all are new here, hello, welcome. My name is Erin. I am on a journey to try and conceive, try and have a kid. On my own, single mom by choice is what they call it. I'm trying to do that whole journey via IUI and unknown sperm. That sounds so weird, unknown sperm. Yeah, via anonymous donor. So I've been on my journey since January of this year, and I'm not pregnant. That has not happened. So to update everybody kind of what has been going on in like a Reader's Digest version is I had 2 IUIs done so far. I had an IUI done on the 29th of April, and I had another IUI done on, when was it, May? It's like May 15th, May 16th, somewhere around there. And those were not successful. So to kind of go back into what my protocol is, I have low AMH. I think my AMH back in December was 0.01, which they were really, I wouldn't say really concerned about, but they were concerned about it for my age because I was 31, not quite 31 and a half at that point in time. And I think every other number was pretty okay. I know I've always had high estrogen, and they kind of pretty much confirmed that. And they also were concerned that I had a genetic condition like Fragile X, and that was what was causing the low AMH. Turns out it wasn't. Now that's not the issue by any means. So I did genetic testing and everything came back fine, normal. I do not have Fragile X. I'm not a carrier of Fragile X. So anyway, the protocol that they had me on is this new protocol that the fertility clinic doctor has been doing, and it's fairly new with people with low AMH. He does a protocol. Well, my protocol is they do estrogen first to kind of thicken your lining, lower your estrogen, and then you do a drug called tamoxifen, which is supposed to produce follicles. I don't have that problem. I do produce follicles, and I'll go back and backtrack in what was it? I had a very, very long period from February to about April, I think it was, and they were gonna try and just like try and catch the egg essentially, and they couldn't, and then they put me on the medication that's supposed to induce a period. I think it's called Provera, I think, and that didn't work. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I called them and I was like, hey, this didn't work. I was supposed to take that in the beginning of March, and work was busy and crazy. So the end of March, early April, I was like, hey, this did not work. So I came in, and I think I ended up, I don't know if I had a period then. No, I didn't have a period yet. And so it was getting to the point where there was a follicle being produced, and I wasn't on the tamoxifen. So we did the IUI. That didn't work. I kind of have a hunch that it was actually a cyst, because there was a cyst before, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, and the cyst was still there, and then there was another follicle like near it. But I think it was a cyst or something like that. Anyway, so I ended up having a period after that whole cycle. It was like probably 90 days or something from February. And then I had my other cycle, so my IUI number 2, that was in May. So I did kind of a back-to-back thing. So they also had me on estrogen for a while. It ends up being like 2.5, almost 3 weeks of being on estrogen to lower the estrogen, thicken the lining, all that good stuff. So I was on that, and then I took tamoxifen for like a week, and it was on cycle day 10 where I was still on estrogen at that point, and they're like, oh, you have a follicle that's measuring 10 millimeters. And so they're like, okay, you can start the tamoxifen now. So I started the tamoxifen, and on 5 days later, so that Friday, it was measuring 15. So they were like, okay, well, you're probably just gonna probably trigger on Sunday to have IUI on Tuesday. And so that's what happened. And that was not successful. So all in all, long story short, I have actually been producing follicles not on the tamoxifen. And anyway, here's where I'm getting at. So the end of June, I got laid off. They laid me off along with 5 other people due to pretty much due to the fact that there was too many staff and not enough patients to see, is essentially what it came down to. And I kind of knew that was coming. So anyway, but what's funny is I even said in May, I even said to myself, I'm like, I need a break from like the fertility stuff and the drugs and all that. I need a break from it, because essentially I was on some sort of drug, I think, except in March. No, in March I had the Prevera. So but maybe like 2 weeks out of the 6 months I was not on anything. And there was a time, I think in March, where I was on tamoxifen for a while and I wasn't responding to it. And I think I was on it for 2 weeks, and I got off of that and I had crazy hot flashes, just ridiculous hot flashes. But luckily I haven't had any major issues with the medication, really no side effects beyond, I think it was the withdrawal from it, because I had it when I was through taking it. So anyway, I was thinking in May of taking some time off of all of this, and what do you know, I'm kind of forced to take some time off in a way. But I also am looking kind of ahead. If I don't have a job quite yet, and I know that I'm gonna get a job, then I think I may start the whole trying to conceive again, just because I have the time to commit myself to it, because it's a lot of work, and my work was pretty flexible and didn't really ask questions, so I was able to make it work. But if I had a very strict job, I could not make it work at all. My IUI number 2, I went to work, and then I drove an hour and did my IUI and drove back and went back to work, because the IUI had to be later in the day or later in the morning. But anyway, I also have a plan B, which I don't think I've discussed with you all. I'm also working on top of trying to conceive my own child, genetically my own child. I am in the process of doing, being a foster caretaker, mom, whatever you want to call it. So I'm also doing the whole foster care thing. So classes were supposed to start April 29th, and because of everything that's going on, they delayed it. So they started classes in June. I want to say it was like June 8th, first part of June, and it's gonna last until the mid-August. And I'm excited of going on this journey too, and I'm doing them both at the same time to see which one happens quicker. So anyway, so I'm also on the foster care journey. So I also want to make videos about that whole process, because there's actually not a lot of videos of the foster care system and doing it on your own. You can be single and be a foster parent. That is a very big misconception. So I'm in that process. I'm doing the application and all that fun stuff, and I gotta have my home inspected for fire inspection. So there's a lot that I have to do, and I figured I will take y'all along with me, getting my house ready, doing all that stuff, because not a lot of people, there's not a lot of videos out there. So that is kind of the update. I'm trying to conceive, trying to be a foster mom, trying to find a new job. And so yeah, I kind of have a lot of time to commit back to YouTube because I wasn't able to before. So I'm hoping to really be on it and produce more content for you all. So thanks for watching. Bye.